Namaste beloveds, this is Sufiana of Feminine Soul Awakening. Today I wanted to answer a very simple question that I get asked very often. Why feminine spirituality? Most people tell me that spirituality is gender neutral. Spirituality is just spirituality, it's for everyone. Why do you need feminine spirituality specifically? Now, first and foremost, I want to clarify that feminine spirituality can be seen in two different ways. One, it can be seen as women coming more in their power, in their truth, and meeting their essential natures. And second way of looking at it is as just the feminine energy. The whole universe is created from the dance of two energies, the masculine and the feminine, the Shiva and the Shakti. So, why feminine spirituality? To understand this, the most important thing is to see and acknowledge and realize that we have lived in a very controlling patriarchal paradigm, culture, mindset, way of being since thousands of years. And in this patriarchal mindset and way of being, the values that we have that are feminine. Now, in this regard, I can talk about the feminine as the feminine energy. We have the masculine energy and the feminine energy both within us. So, the side of me that is more about the mind and the goal and your thinking side is the masculine side, right? And the side that says, where is your hero's journey leading you towards? What is your exact goal? That's masculine. And very good metaphor for the masculine and the feminine is the river. If there was just the water, then the water would be all over the place. And then when there are the banks of the river, it can direct the water in a particular direction, right? So the water is the feminine. The feminine knows how to be present and just how to flow and enjoy the journey. And then the masculine, the structure that says, okay, you have this beautiful, great vision from your intuition and your feeling sense, but how are you going to manifest it? How are you going to take the steps to make this a reality in the external world? The internal, the feminine, the external, the masculine. So coming back to why feminine spirituality. So when we understand these two polar opposite energies, you also understand that the feminine energy is more about the body, more about the senses, because the body, we take in the whole world through the five senses, through the body. And the feminine is also our emotions. Feminine is the exhalation. And the exhalation is kind of like the death. The inhalation, the life, exhalation, the death. Allow that which needs to die, right? So in patriarchal cultures and patriarchal mindsets, everything that I mentioned, that was the feminine, the body, the emotions, the death, are all tossed aside. And people say like, no, we don't need that. We just have to be rational all the time. We just have to be goal focused all the time. We have to push all the time. So there's a lot of stress in patriarchal reality, because imagine that the masculine is the push I'm jumping into life with my inhalation, and the feminine is the let's lie down in bed and just let go and surrender and relax and trust that everything will be taken care of. If we identified 100% with only one of the energies, that could be a bit of a trouble, because we need both. And because we are so programmed by patriarchy in every sphere of life, spirituality itself has also gotten that much affected, that much programmed um, by, by patriarchy. So what we think is just neutral spirituality, maybe about, I would say 70 to 90% of is not so neutral. It's mostly masculine spirituality and sometimes extremely patriarchal spirituality, when it gets very controlling and very much denying the emotions, very much denial of the body. Like, you always have to have the path of asceticism, denying sensuality, denying pleasure. Pleasure is also the feminine. And in a world like this that is overly dominated by these kind of beliefs, the feminine goes totally out of balance from the masculine, right? They are both totally out of sync with each other. So the masculine itself, that is our individuated self. The feminine says, come on, let's connect, let's connect. And then the masculine is, how can I become a true individual? Now, it's wonderful to be on a path to becoming an individual, but we also need our feminine side of staying in connection with each other and inspiring each other and lifting each other up, to think that my enlightenment is only about me and my awakening, mine. Then it will become a very arrogant kind of a path. It'll become like a self-centered path that wants to leave everything behind, compete with everyone, like, no, I will get enlightened, nobody else will get awakened. And that is why we need the feminine also. Yes, it is important to become an individual, but it's also very important to think that my awakening is deeply intertwined, like the spider's web, and connected to everything else. When I awaken, everyone else awakens. When I support other people to awaken, I will also awaken through them. So this is very important, to honor the body, to honor the wisdom of the body, the intuition, the gut feeling, the sensuality. A lot of awakening comes just from feeling the touch of the breeze, standing by the ocean, just really becoming present to it. You can have a moment of awakening. In masculine path, the awakening is somewhere out there in the future, after I've done these steps of 10 years of studying PhD, turning, putting my feet behind my ears and reading 100 books. That's a linear path. We need that. But then we also need the feminine path that says, let's enjoy the journey as we are walking towards that goal. Because within every step of the journey is just as much awakening as there is at the end when you achieve this goal. And if we lose this perspective, we will miss out on life itself. So that is why we need feminine spirituality. We need to go into our emotions rather than just witnessing the emotions, as they do in a lot of Buddhist meditative practices. That is the masculine path, sitting and witnessing the emotions. In the feminine path, you have to feel the emotions. To get to the other side, you have to go through the darkness. You have to go through the shadow. You have to go through the trauma. They say that the wound has to be re-entered in order to find the healing. And that is the feminine path of re-entering that wound, of entering those dark emotions that we had deeply repressed in our shadowland because they were unacceptable by this world that is terrified of anything that is feminine. Dark emotions, be terrified. Oh, going through death, be terrified. Look at what happens to all the religions that are denying death. A lot of those priests are ending up in the prisons for sexually abusing, raping, doing all sorts of terribly dark things. Why are they doing such dark things? Because they are denying the darkness. They are bypassing. So when the culture denies the feminine, what they are resorting to is something called spiritual bypassing. And I'll make a separate video, especially focused only on spiritual bypassing. So when you deny the feminine, you are bypassing the shadow, you are bypassing the, the emotions, the body, the senses, the sensuality, the intuition. You will lose touch with your intuition if you deny the feminine as well. So this, when I shared all these things, it's not just going to benefit women. If there's more feminine spirituality in the world, it will benefit men, it will benefit children, it will benefit trees, it will benefit Mother Earth, it will benefit environmentalism, it will benefit everything. So that's my answer to why do we need feminine spirituality in the world. The scales are out of balance. Let's bring them back in balance. When the feminine energy and masculine energy are in harmony with each other, then we can envision harmony in this world. Children taking guns and shooting other kids is a horrific, shocking reality to live in. We need to leave a much better world for our future children. And also when we do this work of bringing this balance between the two energies, we will also be bringing harmony and peace to all the ones that have been before us, our ancestors who have brought us here, who have brought us this far. So for our own sake, for our future children's sake, and also to bring peace to our ancestors, we must make space for the feminine. Jai Ma. Thank you. Thank you for listening.